Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to the show, you two, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank
Maybe
you.
we should make this live on Rogers. Something happened while you were on your last trip.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, here it is there, that beautiful ring. And a fun proposal.
Very.
Okay,
very.
Tell us, Montecristo, where have you been? Hey?
Well, on our last trip, yeah.
Yeah, so basically our last trip started in Prague, and I had been planning for about 2 years to get this proposal going. So yeah, 2 years.
You had no idea?
I was totally fooled and played by the best of them.
Wow. Well, I was going to say, you spend so much time together traveling that you had...
No, her plan was flawless.
Okay. Give us a little bit of the background.
Well, it took 2 years because of the ring. The ring itself that he's wearing took about a year for a goldsmith to make. So it's an exact replica of his ancestors' family ring. So yeah, so it took a lot of research. It meant calling the Dumas Foundation. It meant looking through the archives of Paris to try and find what it looked like and everything else. So it was a crazy, crazy process. I also knew I wanted a professional photographer to capture the moment, but I didn't want him to suspect. So I was like, how am I going to play this one out? So the year before on our trip, I contacted a company, a Canadian company actually, called Flytographer.
Okay.
Photographers all over the world. So you get to like hire your own paparazzi for an hour or two.
I feel like when you come on the show, I learn so much more.
Yeah,
like there's a whole world out there.
It's a lot of fun. Actually, I wouldn't go on a trip without hiring them for at least one shoot now.
Okay, and so you got them.
So I got them to do a shoot of us when we were in Dubrovnik a year before, hoping he would love it. And of course, when we got the photos back, he was like, oh my God, this was awesome. We should do this on every trip.
Beautiful. There it is.
So when the trip came for Prague, and I said, hey, you know, I've got us lined up for a photo shoot in Prague. He was like, oh, excellent. Never suspected that there was more going on to this than the
oblivious.
actual proposal.
Wow.
Yeah. And the photographer was in on it the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
We had been talking for weeks prior to trying to figure out a script, everything that we would be able to, how could we sort of cue in this now's the time without letting him know that now was the time. So it was really tricky, but it was absolutely worth the 2-year wait.
It is amazing, and it's beautiful. The photos are beautiful. Okay, as you're talking about this, you're throwing around a beautiful piece of glass. I'm like, am I supposed to catch that? What are you holding now?
So
you have more information.
Yeah, so as you may recall, last year we had been nominated for 2 awards. I won one of them, so I thought I'd bring in the actual award since they mail these beautiful.
It is
beautiful. So here's what a nose-to-nose award looks like, my own personal Oscars equivalent. And then the best news I could share, I guess, today is that we are nominated for 4 categories this year instead of 2.
Wow, what are the 4 categories?
So the 4 categories are Best Mini Influencer, and then there is the Best Photo, which is actually the proposal photo with Monty on his hind legs saying, say yes, Daddy, say yes, Daddy. So that photo. Yeah, and then the Best Blog, once again, up for that, which we didn't win last year, so fingers crossed, maybe this year is our year.
Well, I'm loving this year because this is your 6th year.
Yeah, going on 7, yeah.
I know, and I went on your blog, you have 6 amazing new things that you're talking about. You're not just about travel, mostly about travel. Yeah. What other things do you talk about?
I think I address some other things. Like one of the things that we're addressing that I'm actually planning to address right now is the fact that social media seems to have given people permission to be judge and jury. And so I'm about to tackle that, and I know I will in effect get hate mail for it, which is kind of ironic because of what happened with the engagement. As a woman proposing, a lot of people had a lot to say about that. The nicest things that were said in terms of mean things was, that I was pathetic, desperate, that I had emasculated him, and everything like that. And I know his ego is so fragile.
Wow. So fragile here.
Right. And then there's other things that I don't think are appropriate for live TV, so I won't repeat them. I actually deleted some because they were very aggressive, and some of them were life-threatening. You should be shot.
Wow. Which is why you're going to take on this new life of, listen, let's all be a bit respectful in an open forum.
And I see it even in the pet world as well, right? So, for example, I'm not going to use my engagement as an example because I think it needs to be broader than that. I'm using photography. I get a lot of hate mail actually because people are saying that I'm putting his life at risk by posing him on, a side of a cliff without a harness and everything else. And I'm just like, people, you don't know the backstory. Maybe it was photoshopped out. Maybe it's not really a cliff. I mean, there's this sort of the anonymity that comes from social media, from being able to hide behind your screen. I think it's becoming a problem. And what I find is the biggest thing people say is haters will be haters. Maybe it's time we call them on it.
Let's call them on it. And you know what? I love your blog because I love that you give everyone an opportunity to travel with their dog. And it's not even just for dogs. I was so excited you're going to Prague because we're going there next week that I was like, where did you go? And your photography is beautiful as usual. Tell us about your trip to Prague.
Prague was amazing.
And for the dog?
He is incredibly pet friendly.
Oh, yeah, very pet friendly.
Were you surprised by that?
We had no expectations because we had expectations of Europe in general being very pet friendly. But Prague, was up there as a destination to go with your dog for sure.
See, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and we had no problems finding accommodations. Of course, we don't travel in hotels. We always book Airbnb or something of the likes. And no problems at all.
And I mean, dining was absolutely a non-issue. Indoors, outdoors,
everywhere.
All public transportation. Some of the smaller museums were more than happy to let him come in as long as he stayed in his bag. Public transportation, big dogs have to pay a child fare because they take up the space of a child. So it's
makes
really,
sense. So do they get a seat?
Absolutely. They get their seat. Then. Some of the castles were pet friendly, even inside, so not just the grounds, but also inside the castle. So it was really fun. My biggest dream actually is for me to win some kind of award just in the travel blog category,
you know what?
Outside of the pet world. So that would
definitely
be really fun.
You guys are #1 outside of the pet world. I'm all over it. Thank you so much.
You're
Congratulations.
so welcome. Thank you.